we have a firefighter right here, my man Agyei Alexander.
Peace, everybody, peace. Good. What an exciting time to be a New Yorker, right? This is amazing. So my name is Firefighter Moyo Alexander. Everybody knows me as Agyei from the Brooklyn community, I guess I would say. And what I'm going to talk to you about briefly is what it means from the fire department's perspective when a business operates in one of our jurisdictions, what we expect from that business, how they're going to operate as a good actor. And they told me to mention, I'll mention it. So I'm from the Crown Heights area of Brooklyn, all right? That's right, Crown Heights in the house, Brooklyn in the house. All right, yeah. So I'm from Engine 234, ladder 123, with the Crown Heights Maroons. We're the first all-black firehouse in the city of New York. The first and only. Thank you very much. That was really exciting. So what the fire department is mainly concerned with is the compliance of fire code with residential, commercial, and manufacturing facilities. We want to make sure you are basically taking care of all the fire codes. You're not doing anything that would cause a fire for the place that you're operating in, and making sure you're up to code for the people that may, like you said, live in the building that you're operating in, the community, and your own employees and yourselves. Okay? So to do that, what I thought was best was that I go over what we inspect for. So yearly, as of now, we inspect businesses. It doesn't matter what business you're operating, we inspect yearly. So I assume that's what's going to come out of it as well, is that we'll be inspecting your establishment on a yearly basis. And I think it's just best if I read from the actual inspection sheet, right? Wouldn't that help, right? To know what's coming, okay? So what we're going to check for is we're going to check for your, first of all, your certificate of occupancy to make sure that what you filed for, what you got from the community board, and what you got from all the other compliance agencies from the city, that's what's actually operating there. We want to make sure that it says clearly on your certificate of occupancy whatever they deem your business is. Next, we're going to check making sure that you don't have any rubbish or anything that is stored in a particular way that might be a fire hazard. So if you sell coffee or any other thing that may cause heat, that there's nothing, any trash or anything that's next to that can cause a fire, and then we have to come in and deal with it. The next thing is we're going to check your exits, that every exit shall be maintained in unobstructed condition. If, unfortunately, God willing, there is no fire or anything, but make sure people have means of egress and it's not obstructed by any boxes or stock or furniture or anything like that. We want to make sure the door's in proper working order, okay? We want to make sure that it moves easily, it's smooth, it opens outward like it's supposed to, not inward. That's what we're going to check. Exit signs are clearly marked. If it's a store, you only need one, but if it's a meeting place where, like a cafe or something like that, that you have multiple means of egress. Next, we're going to check to make sure you have smoke detectors in your place that are operable and working. They're not beeping because you haven't changed the battery in 2 years. We want to make sure that's done properly as well. Housekeeping, once again, excuse me. Making sure the place is clean and that it's kept well and it's in some kind of working order and that people are not coming in and it looks, I don't know, disgusting or there's I just making sure the place is in good housekeeping order and that it looks like an operating business. That's really important. Extinguishers are next. You should have some extinguishers in your property and in your store depending on how big the space is, depending on requires what kind of extinguishers you're gonna need. Sometimes buying one from Walmart, those little ones that you just buy and you put in your space, those are fine. But depending on the square footage, you may need ones that are actually serviced by a company, by an extinguishing company. They come and they refill and check it and make sure it's operating properly. But that depends on how big the space is, okay? And what are you doing? So if it's a retail store, a little small area, small thing. If it's bigger, meeting place, huh? That's right. It's off the floor. That's right. It's somewhere visible, sitting somewhere. That's important as well. Now, that's pretty much it. So I do want to make some clarifications. Now, I know most of the growing doesn't happen in New York City, in the city itself. But if it does, the thing that I would add to that is to make sure any chemicals that are being used are stored properly, okay? Making sure they're not next to anything flammable, that they're not, sometimes we run into situations where things are spilling or corroding or the bags are open or the gas tank that's being used, I don't know if there's any gas, I don't know how growing happens, but if there's anything like that, to make sure the canisters are not leaking and things like that. So we do come and inspect that very thoroughly. When chemicals are involved that can be flammable or can cause some kind of combustion, that's something that we really go over with a fine-tooth comb, and that has to be maintained properly. So another thing I want to mention too is that when it comes to the firehouse or the fire in our district, people that people that operate in our districts, we want to make sure that you are a good neighbor. So if it's a meeting place, loud music, things outside in front making loud noises where people are calling noise complaint, the fire department actually shows up for noise complaints. And we do shut people down for noise complaints. We will empty the place, sorry. If you have, if your means of egress are not maintained properly, and what will happen is we can give two things. We can give an NOV, which is a notice of a violation, and then we can give a violation at our own discretion. So, the notice of violation means you can fix the problem on your own, and we'll come back in 2 weeks, or we'll come back in a month's time to make sure you complied, or we can give a violation immediately. So, firemen, we're congenial people. We normally, hey, how you doing? That's how we are. And if you're that way with us, we'll be that way with you. And we'll give you that discretion to say, hey, you know what? Hey, John, fix this on your own, and we'll come back and check. But if you are, not a nice person, we will, we will hit you with that violation, which comes with fines, and it has to be paid. So niceness goes a long way. And, I'm excited. Let's get this done. Let's make it federally legal so we can all enjoy. That would be great. So thank you very much. That's it.